My baby has a real diaper. Oh, Alan, present.
Oh, a second too.
There's a special kind of love no one can match. You'll find it in the Cabbage Patch.
These preemies need a mommy.
And I love choosing that one-of-a-kind kid for my one-of-a-kind kid.
Welcome to Cleveland, Georgia. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of Babyland General Hospital, the quote-unquote birthplace of the Cabbage Patch Kids. We'll touch on some history, explore the many corners of this glorified gift shop, and watch a live birthing of a Cabbage Patch infant straight out of Mother Cabbage herself. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be very confused. Let's do it.
Nothing says lovin' like my crescent rolls.
Cabbage Patch Kid dolls are the best new-selling doll of all time, skyrocketing in popularity beginning in 1983, sustaining a somewhat lasting place in American pop culture. Today, it is at best a nostalgia brand. To me, it's a dead consumer product. Not to be a complete downer if you're here just for the fond memories, but I did get weird Dead Mall vibes here, so take that as a fair warning if you need to. Now, this location is meant to resemble, I guess, an old folksy southern hospital, even though it was constructed in 2009. According to the farewell sign here, the Cabbage Patch newborns are given a healthy dose of imagicillin. Yet there was a noticeable lack of anything imaginative when driving in. Here you have all this empty land with dead grass. If you know your Cabbage Patch lore, it's a lot of fantasy elements we'll touch on, but I found myself thinking that a magical forest type entrance with some trees, some whimsy, and mystery would have really worked well here. But nah, just empty ass field. But enough of my landscape critiquing. Let's enter the hospital and start exploring. Ah yes, the classic Hard Rock Cafe formula. Build up credibility with your audience by showing how many famous people have visited your so-called destination with proof of a signed autographed picture of each. Now, right when we reach the main desk, we're immediately in the museum portion of the hospital. This place is roughly 10% museum, 75% store, and curiously 15% Christmas exhibit for whatever reason. But on display in the museum portion are many of the OG hand-stitched cloth Cabbage Patch dolls, originally called the Little People. You might be like me and remember mostly the vinyl plastic dolls, but these guys have sort of a cool, uncanny feel to them that I found a craftsman's appreciation for. The Little People were created by this guy, Xavier Roberts, a native of Cleveland, otherwise known as the father of all Cabbage Patch Kids. If you've ever pulled out the ass of a CBK, you'll find his name slathered on the cheek in all of its copyrighted glory. Roberts was actually a sculptor that sold his dolls at local flea markets beginning in 1978, creating little backstories and personalities for each of his creations. After the dolls became popular, it became customary to not buy a Cabbage Patch doll, but rather to adopt one, going through the proper bureaucratic paperwork and naming each child before releasing them to their new guardians. Let's just take a moment to admire some of these original absolute units. Next, we enter the nursery, which acts as a hallway to the main gift shop portion of the hospital. Now, this is where it started to feel lazy, like they were decorating a child's room with whatever they could find. This is also where random other plushes started to appear, completely unrelated to the CBK brand, along with the price tags, as it was soon obvious that everything was for sale. Here you have a University of Georgia stuffed animal because Georgia. Yeah, go dogs. Here we also encounter our first non-seasonal Christmas tree. Just FYI, this video was shot in March. Of all things, they had this one Andy Warhol painting that I thought should have been on better display, but you'll soon find out there is no rhyme or reason or even a real theme to this place. So to the random corner for you, Andy. Also, this isn't important, but this cabbage was giving me occult vibes. If I were forced to buy anything that day, I would have bought this of all the shit we're about to see. Finally, we entered the wonderland of it all. But before we get into the thick of it, let me just say that Babyland General Hospital is free admission to enter. So to its credit, and for the sake of not being too pessimistic the whole time, it's admittedly a cool free getaway if you're willing to drive out to the middle of nowhere, Georgia. With that being said, let's take a look at the million things for sale here. Now, Caroline was very eager to smell the children, remembering they had a scent of vanilla and baby powder. Proving herself right here, I felt compelled to smell the child too, and agreed on the vanilla baby powder smell. Every now and then we'd run into a batch of exclusive kids and babies at different prices, anywhere from $40 to $90. According to the website, you can purchase a child from varying lengths, 15 to 21 inches, and you can customize a birth certificate with any name and birth date, which I find is a little silly to choose an age that might not be accurate with an infant's manufacturing date, but just maybe I'm thinking too hard about this. You can also get the papers blank and name the child Muffin Shit McDouglas on your own. As we reach the actual Cabbage Patch and Mother Cabbage herself, I think it would be a good time to go over the official lore of the Cabbage Patch Kids. When Xavier Roberts was still a boy, he was playing in the woods nearby this very location. He then saw a creature buzz by his head. This creature was a bunny bee. Xavier chased the bunny bee until they reached a waterfall, and the bunny bee disappeared within it, teasing Xavier to follow it in. Inside was a cave covered in crystals with a path that the bunny bee urged Xavier to follow it down. On the other side, he reached a cabbage farmland of sorts, where many bunny bees were sprinkling their magic over the patch. To his astonishment, the cabbage were sprouting children. That's when one of the children, named Otis Lee, approached Xavier and asked if he came to help them find homes. Xavier agreed to the agreement, vowed to open the palatial structure we are currently in, and the rest is history. Mother Cabbage here is by far the most entertaining part of the hospital, with the occasional CBK animatronic and this glorious light bright situation of a sign. You can see the crystals here from the legend, as well as several bunny bees flying around sprinkling their dust. I believe it's every hour or so a new Cabbage Patch is born, which at this point in the tour is what we were lingering around for. Among the continuous merchandise, there wasn't too much left to see, except for this room, the Infinite Christmas Room. Just a friendly reminder that even if Christmas comes only once a year, spending money on frivolous things is forever. This room screamed my mother scavenging a Hobby Lobby on Adderall. I could think of 1,000 ways to better utilize this room to be more than just Christmas, but here it was filled with deep-gazing nutcrackers and old-fashioned Santas with little purpose other than to fill space. But that's when we heard a voice over the intercom. Mother Cabbage had dilated some 6 or 7 leaves, so Caroline and I rushed back in to witness the miracle of life firsthand. While waiting, I caught sight of this plane with a micro-wiener for a nose. Finally, the nurse arrived at Mother Cabbage, and the birthing began.
So how we know Mother Cabbage has gone to labor? Are the crystals along the bottom of the tree begin to glow just a little bit brighter, and the bunnies flying above our heads begin to sprinkle down magic crystal pollen? That determines if we're going to have a baby boy or a baby girl. What is everybody hoping for today? Girl. Okay, I'm hearing lots of girl. So what I'm going to have you guys do is cross your fingers like this. Do your fingers tight. Hold them high in the sky. And on the count of 3, if you want a baby
the waterfalls.
It does stand for tender love and care. And here at Babyland, we've been giving the extra large doses of TLC. Now, Whisper is very, very important. Making sure Mother Cabbage is in fact a full 10 weeks dilated. And you guys, it does look like she is. So we're off to an amazing start. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all. She's feeling very nervous this evening, maybe even a little bit tired. Can I have everybody help her out? I'm gonna have everybody take a big deep breath in and out. Alright, one more time. In and out. Alright, awesome job, you guys. That helped her out so much so she is ready to start pushing, but she's gonna need everybody's help one last time. On the count of 3, I want everybody to shout push as loud as you can. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome job, you guys. I am starting to see ahead. One more push, and I think our baby girl's gonna be here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome job, you guys. Here she is. Our beautiful baby girl. I'm gonna get her all wrapped up, and I'm gonna tell you guys a couple of things that I noticed about her. The first thing I noticed about our gorgeous baby girl is that she was born bald, but that doesn't make her any less beautiful or special. That just means our interns got a little bit lazy last night and forgot to fertilize her side of the Cabbage patch. The next thing I noticed are her big, bright brown eyes, and of course her cutie little outie belly button when I gently clipped her from Mother Cabbage. Now, this next part can be embarrassing for everybody born here at Babyland, so I want you guys to promise that you won't laugh at our baby girl. Do you guys promise? Do you guys really promise? She was born with the famous Xavier Roberts birthmark on her little bottom. Now she is starting to blush quite a bit, so I'm going to cover her back up. And before we take her right over there for her very first checkup, she's going to need one thing, and that is a name. Does anybody have names for our baby girl?
It was at this point the nurse asked for name suggestions from the crowd, where she then let the newborn deliberate among the choices before deciding on 2 suggestions, Ellie and Bo, to form the name Ellie Bo. With a name like that, the nurse proclaimed she would grow up to be famous. A round of applause followed, and Ellie Bo was taken to the delivery nursery off to the side, where the audience of kids observed her and her siblings' first day of existence. And with that, our time in Babyland came to an end. I found Babyland General Hospital to be more eerie than nostalgic, but honestly, I prefer eerie anyway. There's something about squeezing the last drop of milk from a withering cow that makes brands like these a marvel to see operating in the modern era, especially since the staff here consider keeping the illusion a sacred act. Neither Caroline or myself adopted a child or got to witness an adoption process, but here's a quick shot of where that magical process takes place. My wallet was not violated in the making of this video, nor was my imagination. If this would have been a Ninja Turtle General Hospital, I might have not been so lucky, but I digress. In the end, you can always find something to not end up empty-handed, even in a wonderland of a dead brand like Babyland General Hospital. In my case, I got this picture of me and this bear. See you next time.